Xbox is doomed to fail. Xbox is doomed to fail. And you might be like, oh, okay, what are you talking about this time? Obviously, you're being very negative towards Xbox. Why should I ever believe anything you have to say? And that's because of the general perception around Xbox. Usually people are looking at Xbox and being like, okay, we're increasing the prices of the consoles. We're increasing the prices of Game Pass. We are increasing the price of developer kits that developers need to pay for, even though it's also worth mentioning that indie developers who are part of ID at Xbox can get Xbox development kits for free as well. And keeping in mind that developer kits are souped up versions of normal Xboxes that will allow for debugging, development, and whatever have you. That being said though, Microsoft has bought a lot of stuff, including Activision Blizzard. And I think that this Activision Blizzard acquisition is the worst thing that could have happened to Xbox. People are like, oh, these games are going to be exclusive. Oh, these games are going to bring, more people to Xbox. Oh, this, all that. But the thing is that it's only ever hurt Xbox. Xbox has had its arms and legs cut off, and now they're just bleeding out in the middle of the streets as bits and pieces are being hacked out, as organs are being sold on the black market in order to make another buck. Because Microsoft is the one leading the charge in destroying Xbox. And that is more specifically in relation to the fact that inside Xbox profit pressure, there is a 30% margin target that is reshaping everything that everyone has to do. And every fan has every reason to be angry and annoyed. Now, it's worth keeping in mind that the average numbers that we're looking at when it comes to profit margins in the gaming space is between 15 to 21%. 15 to 21 is a 15 to 18, something like that. No, so 14 to 18. Anyway, it's like not even close to 30%, which is way higher than it has any reason to be. So Microsoft CFO Amy Hood has forced Xbox to deliver an industry margin far beyond what is typically typical for gaming in general, which is going to absolutely destroy Xbox if it isn't changed in any point in time. Because keeping in mind that Xbox is struggling right now. Consoles are not selling. No one's buying their games because they're making their games available on other platforms. But they are getting at least, money from selling those games on other platforms, but it's less. 30% less on every other storefront that buys games, but not on Xbox where they get all of the money when they buy, Xbox games on there. And then in addition to that, it's worth keeping in mind that when I say it's going to destroy Xbox, I mean games are going to get cancelled, studios are going to be closed down, people are going to be let go. And I wonder, and this is coming from me as a conspiracy theory type of thing I've got going on here, but I wonder if they've put a 30% margin on purpose, like a margin so high that it's impossible to reach on purpose, so that Xbox has to cut down on stuff. They have to cut down on studios. I think it's done on purpose to cut these things down. But I'll let you guys know if like I would want you guys to let me know if you guys think that as well. I don't want to color your perception of things just yet, because like I said, this is only like just the beginning of what could potentially end up happening to Xbox as a whole. So this is going to be a real fun one. There's a rumor that so back in the day, there was a rumor that was forcing Xbox to deliver a 30% profit margin, but there was never enough evidence, and that sounds insane because obviously that's much, much higher than what is expected of the gaming industry as a whole. But Bloomberg reporters Diana Bass and Jason Schreier just revealed that Microsoft CFO Amy Hood is indeed asking to meet an accountability margin of 30%, which far in excess of reasonable targets in the video game industry, and in particular the gaming hardware industry, given that we are nearing the end of the generation, which is where the actual sales begin to slow down. And keeping in mind that there are places that are removing Xbox hardware completely And also the fact that people have been led to believe that they should in fact subscribe to Game Pass instead of buy games a la carte. But by doing that, you're then cutting off $300 million. For example, with Call of Duty, putting that on Game Pass was an absolute mistake. And remember how I said earlier that like the average profit margin is like, 14 to like 18%. Or 15 to 21. It was somewhere around there. That's when the industry is doing well, when there's money flourishing, when the economy is doing well. But the thing is that we're not doing well right now, and so it really, really does feel like everything is done on purpose in some level of self-destruction, effectively. Over the past few years, Microsoft's gaming division has undergone some insane and self-destructive transitions, cutting studios, slashing marketing budgets, and sprinting to release games on rival platforms to the detriment of its own. Microsoft has also rapidly hiked prices, harming consumers while laying off literal thousands, reducing any semblance of goodwill Xbox had left to zero. And that's fair. No one should expect anything from Xbox moving forward because Microsoft is the one that's pulling the strings. While I've been blaming Xbox for everything, there has never been an exact causal link as to what is happening inside of Microsoft to actually have us believe that. And now that we have that link of the 30%, we have more than enough reason to be like, yes, screw Microsoft, but also I can't possibly be positive about Xbox in any way, shape, or form. Every day something seems to be going wrong with Xbox, and I can't imagine what it's like to be Phil Spencer or Sarah Bond, especially Sarah Bond, where she's putting her foot in her mouth all the bloody time, talking about things like the Xbox ROG Ally, saying, oh, the price was because of Asus, and then coming out and talking about the next generation of Xbox, and then saying, oh yeah, how we were thinking about the ROG Ally, yeah, we're going to be thinking about that for the next generation Xbox, which, keeping in mind, the next generation Xbox is supposed to now be significantly more expensive because it's going to be a PC and console hybrid. Make that make sense, right? So the changes, according to Bloomberg, coincide with Microsoft CFO Amy Hood taking a greater role in the gaming business at Xbox. Of course, this is all coming from the fact that Microsoft is taking a significantly bigger stranglehold over Xbox rather than leaving it to do its thing because of the stupid acquisition spree that Microsoft has been going on. Buying buying Activision Blizzard was just stupid. Buying Bethesda because Starfield was going to be a PlayStation exclusive was also incredibly mentally retarded. Why the hell would you do that? But yeah, so it seems like the sources for this article by Jez Corden on Windows Central is saying that his sources have been blaming Amy Hood for major issues at Xbox right now as Microsoft doubles down on short-termism and shareholder pandering over long-term goals and customer feedback, which is basically pretty bloody obvious. The cancellation of promising games like Perfect Dark, which would have been pretty good because it looks cool, Contraband, yes, and others are a direct result of Xbox leads Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Tim Stewart attempting to balance Microsoft's corporate demands without taking the entire business. So now, basically, these three poor suckers are now fighting Microsoft. It's like David versus Goliath at this point, but the thing is that, yes, they are already owned by Microsoft, but they also want to keep some level of autonomy on their own. And whoever decided that the purchase for Activision Blizzard should have gone through, that went on this this whole buying spree back in like the early 2020s, you were wrong. You could not have been more wrong. Holy crap. So without seeing the whole thing, the amount of strain this arbitrary goal has put on Xbox cannot be overstated as staffs, customers, and even third-party developers feel gradual toxification of the Xbox brand. It's funny how it's green and that's how you see poison being represented in games. It's just very funny to tell. In response, Microsoft issued the following statement, which doesn't really address the chaos the firm has embraced over the couple of years. So what did Xbox say? Microsoft provided the following statement on the original Bloomberg report back in October 23rd, so a couple of days ago as I'm recording this video. We take a long-term view in how we run our business. They set goals. We aim high but stay flexible, knowing that success doesn't look the same across every project or priority. We look at the business as a whole, balancing creativity, innovation, sustainability. Oh my god. Okay, it's just a bunch of word salad that doesn't mean anything. Holy crap. Oh my god. All right, let's just ignore that for now. So yeah, the attempt to raise prices. Okay. Now we're talking about the stuff that actually went wrong. So attempting to raise the prices to $80, which didn't work out because nobody's going to pay 80 USD for the Outer World, which they then step back down to $70. Rework the Xbox Game Pass tiers. So now previously we had Core, Standard, and Ultimate. Ultimate stayed the same, but Standard was called Pro and increased the price. Standard became Pro. The Ultimate tier had its price increased, and Core was called Essential instead, basically taking, I guess, PlayStation's playbook on that one. And yeah, with the 50% price hike from $20 USD to $30 USD per month, Xbox Series S and X have had aggressive price increases. Specifically, the fact that the Xbox Series X 2TB edition, which is not more powerful, is more expensive than the PS5 Pro by 50 USD. Crazy. The inconsistent messaging, seemingly disparate price hikes. You gotta wonder. Yeah, no, this is absolutely true. Questioning whether or not Microsoft is deliberately sabotaging Xbox. And it really does seem it. Oh, okay, no, it certainly seems... Well, obviously it does. I think anyone can tell. The fact that I wasn't even reading that on the article and I was just thinking that aloud and then reading it immediately afterwards, I'm like, wow. Like, me and Jez are basically thinking the exact same way right now. And of course, constantly trying to deny anything that is happening, denying that retailers are canceling orders. The Activision Blizzard division surpassed Windows itself in the firm's diversified business. With the AI boom fueling Microsoft's share price, Satya Nadella is enjoying a $100 million pay package in stock incentives, which preclude gaming from the equation. Dang. So yeah, analysts speculate, like, basically, what the hell is going on? When is it going to end? How? What? Where? Why? Make it all end. What the hell is going on, people? Anyway, so with all that being said, it's an absolute bloody mess and an absolute bloody nightmare, and I do not envy being Microsoft, or Xbox rather, I should say. I do not envy being Xbox, because I think there's a tombstone here that's got your name on it, and, well, let's just say it's not something you're going to be looking forward to. These videos have turned out to be longer than I thought, just because there's so much to talk about. There's so much meat on the bones. There is so much stuff to break down. It's absolutely insane and crazy to talk about. But with all of that being said, though, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year. And with all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.